we would like to deny, first and foremost, that the state has infringed on freedom of the press of Rappler or any of its reporters. Truth is, the reporter of Rappler is still in our press briefing. She is not being prevented from exercising her profession as a journalist. None of the individuals behind Rappler will be prevented from performing their duties as journalists. The decision ruled that Rappler Inc. and Rappler Holder Inc. violated the constitutional prohibition limiting ownership of mass media exclusively to Filipino corporations. I'd like to highlight that of the commissioners and the chairman of the SEC, President Digong only appointed one of the commissioners, Commissioner Aquino. All the other commissioners, including its chairperson, are appointees of President Noynoy Aquino. No? Now, the SEC decision has been made available to the public, and to summarize the decision, it said that the Philippine depositary receipt it had issued in favor of a foreign investor violates the constitutional prohibition against foreign ownership in media because it gave it negative control. 2/3 vote of the PDR holders was required under the agreement before Rappler Holdings can amend its articles or bylaws. You see, under the corporation code for existing corporations under the Philippines, no, before you can, for instance, sell any and all or substantially all of the assets of the corporations, a 2/3 votes is required. No? So you see here an instance where, although they are not shareholders, nonetheless, the holders of the PDRs are given the same right to control the company in terms of amending the articles and the bylaws. There is no affront to freedom of the press because there is no censorship. There is no facial censorship. Since there is no facial censorship, then there is no presumption of unconstitutionality. On the contrary, because this upholds the constitutional provision on limiting ownership of mass media to Filipinos, it enjoys the overwhelming presumption of constitutionality, plus the fact that it was rendered by the body with legal jurisdiction to decide in these matters, it enjoys the overwhelming presumption of validity. That's what I'm saying. It was unfair of Maria Ressa to say that they're victims of an attack on press freedom because they're not. She defies this Philippine depositary receipt. No one told her to structure in this manner. She probably had more faith in her lawyers than she should have. But no one is exempt from complying with the Constitution and the laws of the land, particularly where you're talking of a media outfit in the exercise of a public trust, criticizing government officials for violating the Constitution and the laws of the land. I would hope that they would be first and foremost compliant with all constitutional and legal requirements themselves. Saying is, in this instance, the President had nothing to do with it. It's by individuals who were not his appointees. He could not control the majority of the commissioners and the chairperson of the SEC itself. And of course, you don't know about the credentials of Chairperson Tess Herbosa, but I'm reiterating it. It is unfair to her to think that she was acting merely as a lackey of the President. She will never do that. So, the President found it unfair for Maria Ressa to claim violation of freedom of the press when, according to him, Rappler has been very active criticizing individuals for violating the Constitution and the laws of the lands, and it turns out it is by itself violating the Constitution. In law, we have a saying, one should come to court with clean hands. Because the media industry is a public trust, one should exercise, I guess, privileges out of this public trust also with clean hands. Before you criticize others, look into the mirror. Look at yourself first.